Welcome back to Game of Who, the podcast designed by slackers for slackers who don't have time to listen to two podcasts about Game of Thrones and Doctor Who. I'm Jordan, that's Pedro, and introducing our little potato man himself, Mr. Venn Stone. This week's episodes are The Crimson Horror and The Climb.
Well, seriously, hey, you guys are downloading and listening to this. That's fantastic.
What's wrong with you?
Yeah, this
Seriously.
is Game of Who, GameofWho.com. We need to put up a message board or something. Leave us some feedback in that comment. But let's get right into the wibbly wobbly, Pedro. What did you think? I heard you loved this week.
Well, not exactly. As me and Jordan were actually discussing earlier, the whole episode is a little too self-parodying for my taste.
And yet you failed to give an example of how it is self-parodying.
Okay, Braveheart Clara. You know, Tegan in the
Now I'm really
fifth
confused.
series.
You've just confused me further. Continue.
Yeah.
You know, Tegan Jovanka or
Gotta refresh my memory there.
Mm-hmm.
What are you talking about?
This was right at the beginning of the show. He says he once spent ages trying to get a gobby Australian to Heathrow Airport.
Okay, so that was the guy from that throwaway episode with the dinosaurs on the ship, or?
I think it was 2 episodes. I can't remember which season.
No,
which series
the
it was
dinosaurs on the
exactly,
spaceship. That guy, the hunter dude,
Yeah,
the big game hunter.
Yeah.
Yeah, he
Yeah.
was only there for like one episode.
yeah,
but
Nefertiti.
No, 2. Oh yeah, because Nefertiti.
Yep.
But okay, so he made a reference to something he did before.
And
Mind.
Do
And-
you not do
Blown.
that like all the time? Is the doctor not allowed to remember things that happened recently?
Not according
actually,
to you.
that's become more common with the Matt Smith Doctor more than any of the new doctors before him.
And this is an issue. Oh, we have some loose continuity. Oh, this is relevant to the situation in some way.
All right,
shape, or form.
girls. God. Put wow with the nails.
Dude, no, like you provide no concrete evidence that A, this thing is full of pop culture references, as you say further in the notes, and B, that it is an episode of self-parody. You provide no evidence whatsoever.
And there's the whole we've already met Clara that they keep hinting on and yet never explain. And right at the end of the episode,
this has been this has been the same thing that is happening for the past how many episodes?
precisely. And I always rake on it. So why is this coming as news?
Because how is that self-parody? That's just bad writing.
It's not bad writing. They're literally trolling us, the audience. But we're not
Okay.
even at the problems yet. So.
And Moffat does that. It's not necessarily good trolling, but it's still trolling. Hence, it's just bad writing.
How many episodes do we have left in this series?
What episode are we on?
11.
11? So we got 2 more left.
2 more. So, but next week, Neil Gaiman that's his episode. So hopefully, now with Pedro, I kind of agree with you a little bit. In some areas, is nothing has went on. Okay, we got Oz for the win. Yes, we know the TARDIS doesn't like her. Okay. We don't know anything about her, and I think we've been teased relentlessly to the point where I was like, I don't care anymore. Because at the end, the doctor's always like, oh, I haven't explained her. It's like, you're... But,
because it's pretty obvious that he doesn't know.
I don't know. I think he knows something because they seem like in a big rush to get to London.
Yep.
London.
What do you think I got?
Might
Well,
be something.
I'm guessing he wanted Clara to meet Miss Montague.
But she was already dead at that point.
That's probably why the TARDIS didn't take them there.
Oh, do you think the TARDIS is misbehaving intentionally?
Yep.
As it always is.
Well, this did reintroduce some known characters, lesbian lizard lady, not that there's anything wrong with that, and the Potato Man.
You know what? Am I the only one
Brax.
who watch a spinoff of those three characters?
You brought that up in the notes.
Yeah.
You know, just the Potato Man working like in a regular job.
You know what? I after seeing a little excerpt of their adventures, I kind of want to see more of what they're up to.
What are your thoughts, P-Man?
I'd watch it. I'd watch the shit out of that.
One's a lesbian lizard, one's a lesbian ninja, and one's a potato man. They're roommates, and they solve mysteries.
It's like Seinfeld, but completely different and has nothing to do with Seinfeld.
I'd watch the shit out of that, man.
Yep.
Turns out that, we're still talking with our first impressions. We find out that, it wasn't the vengeful father, but I guess the mother not intentionally, blinded the daughter, which, she was way too Cruella over the top DeVille for me. And yes, I'll make the joke. I don't have my sunglasses with me, but I don't think the daughter saw that coming.
Hey-o, or should I say,
yeah!
I can't do that. I'm not that awesome.
So, anything else for your first impressions? Who's got more words?
I think Jordan has more words.
All right.
I do. It was the freaking guy fainting. That kind of got old pretty quickly.
Which time? Oh, get it? He faints when he sees weird things.
It's like, damn, you think he would have gotten acclimated to it already. Also, when they were being dipped in the poison, I could not help but flash back to that Simpsons Halloween episode where a comic book guy gets dipped in last scene. He's like, must assume classic lone green Battlestar Galactica pose. Best death ever.
Let's see. Yeah. What do you mean, leechy boobs?
Leechy boobs. She had a leech on her boobs. She had a prehistoric leech on her boobs.
Man, not even a problem thing. What about that little critter, man? I mean, what is he like? Psychic symbiote, Mr. Snow?
No, I don't think there's any real connection to the Great Intelligence there. I think they just like, we need a classic Doctor Who villain that we can use. Oh, Great Intelligence. It's invisible, so we don't have to pay for special effects.
Yeah. Man, I really hope they got something special planned for the 50th, because it seems like they've just been budget constrained. So do I. But my final first impression for the episode was at the very end, where when the mother is like trying to give him, she's like, "Hey, duh." That was pretty fun. I'm like, I heard that. I'm like, "Hey, duh." All right, any last words, P-Man, before we get into the problems?
No, I guess it's been all covered.
We'll get into the problems.
Okay, problems it is. First episode, past the mid-season break, that actually has some recurring characters, and it was actually going okay-ish up until that point. That they introduced the personified GPS, Thomas. See, bad writing. We need someone who will direct the Potato Man to his destination. Oh, how about GPS?
What was the point of that kid, man? They're just like, go here, and turn.
And you will reach your destination. Thank you, Thomas. Thomas or reference. Tom.
Pop culture reference.
All right, put it back in your pants.
Okay, that is just bad writing. That literally, I saw that and I'm like, damn, they had no way of getting Potato Man to the scene, to the big climax. So let's just have a throwaway scene where it's like, haha, yeah, he's a Tom, get it?
Yeah.
And then,
well, what about the explanation, man?
Yes. They've been teasing that goddamn explanation for a long time, and we still don't get it. And the Doctor, well, let's take Clara to Victorian London so she can meet her previous self, Miss Montague. And the TARDIS says no. And the episode is about to end, and the lesbian ninja says, "Oh, but you haven't explained it." No, I haven't.
Nope. But
Nope.
watch next week. Well, we still don't tell you anything. Probably.
Cybermen.
Oh,
And-
God, Cybermen.
Anyone get a little Acutus of Org vibe from that trailer?
No,
A bit.
my main thought with that, and I was like, how about a new villain? What like real reoccurring villains have we had introduced in the New Who outside of the Weeping Angels?
You know what? I kind of want to see Simon Pegg back.
Yeah, that'd be kind of fun.
With the dungeon evil game shows. That would be kind of neat. They could have like an evil. They could switch it up so it'd be like talk shows. So they have like a robot Top Gear, and like
You know, I'd be happy if it
they have like Clarkson with a laser gun coming out of its mouth. Come on.
Just bring back Captain Jack before the series is over, and he better be in the 50th or Skull of Thrones enemies or
Captain Jack is pushing for the 12-some. And you know what? He's got a pretty good chance of pulling it off.
So over here in Vinland, what the hell was with that? Let's explain what happened, how we got to this point. They went to this new, like, cheap photo, video effect of, the blinky green film. It was like, oh, this is how it all happened.
Well,
it made me cringe.
Sorry, go on.
No, it just made me cringe. I was like, why is this thing? Why do we need to take this out of order for such a simple...
I guess I think they're trying to surprise us with like, oh, the Doctor's behind the door, even though they kind of spoiled that right at the beginning of the episode.
Oh, monster! Here, monster! I brought you some food.
See, it seems like the Doctor went through a bit of a power blackout.
Yeah, right.
Or power red out. Am I right?
Oh, zing!
Oh.
What did you think of the captive Doctor being the? I was like, my monster's gone. Oh no!
No, but I kind of took that as like this is what was her name, Julie, or not Julie. You know what? I forgot her name. But anyways.
Oh, you mean Helen Keller?
Not the lesbian ninja.
Oh, yeah. Okay.
What was her name?
Jenny.
Yeah, Jenny. What was I gonna say? Yeah, I was taking that as like this is how Jenny would picture a flashback in a TV series, considering that like they don't have that would be the level of movies they would have.
I was really disappointed in like her little fight scenes. Like, oh, I got this Doctor, and I was like,
yeah. I was expecting her to be a bit more badass.
With you like curb stomp two people, then it's like runtime, and I was like, what? Do more curb stomping. I was kind of enjoying that scene.
Yeah. Rip the dress. I'm gonna kick their asses.
So, I guess my only last little issue, if I may, is when, all's for the when she gets back home and the Chitlins are going, yes, we have magically tracked you down throughout history without any inclination that you were really gone, since you basically returned when you left due to, I don't know, a time machine.
Time travel.
Right. And we have all this evidence of shooped pictures, which I can tell they've been shooped after seeing a few pixels in my day. What are your thoughts on this?
Yeah, that was a bit thin. I think that was just a segue into the next episode.
Yeah.
Oh, you mean the theme park episode?
Yeah, I think that was just kind of shoehorned in there. It's like, oh, we need something to sort of link it up with the next episode. Why would there be kids there? Oh, because they found out that Clara can travel through time. All right.
But they're going to be...
Like I said, bad writing.
Go ahead.
And I don't actually remember that picture in the submarine being taken.
Because there's so many pictures of active submarines from the USSR floating around the internet.
Yeah, and they put those online. All these like, oh look, and we find.
Yeah, I think Putin put that on his Facebook.
Yeah, I want to know the search query for this one. You know, that's
I don't know. Maybe they use that Google image search thing where you can like search actual images and they just scan a picture of Clara, because people do that. Maybe they're looking for nudes.
Giggity. So, yeah, I think you've already covered your fainting issue, haven't you? Oh, that ball made a delicious sound. That was fantastic. I think that's going to do it for our Doctor Who, but let's get into the Game of Thrones first impression, which I found was an infinitely just better breath of fresh air after watching Doctor Who. What are your thoughts, P-Man?
I concur. Jordan apparently doesn't.
No. I keep saying Game of Thrones this season has been consistently good. I have no real gripes with any of the episodes so far.
Most of my gripes, even from past episodes, are usually character related, and they're just more of a personal opinion. Nothing wrong with the episodes themselves.
Well, yeah, we'll get into the problems, but P-Man, seems like you really like the torture.
I like to see Theon paying after falling off the wagon the way he did and stabbing Robb in the back and taking over Winterfell, and then having his men, well, it didn't actually have his men burn it down, they just burned it down because they're assholes.
Yeah. You know, I like it's like, but you already told me everything I wanted to know. Daddy didn't love you. Now I'm going to cut your fingers off.
Yes, torture porn at its finest. But Ygritte.
Yeah. Ygritte.
Redheads are trouble.
Don't stick your dick in crazy.
Don't betray me, then. Overly attached. Wildling girlfriend.
She's actually helping Jon Snow not look like a complete wimp.
So what did you think? Apparently it was not in the R.R. Martin fanfic, but the whole like conspiracy thing. She's like, I know your secret. And I was like, that could be a lot of things.
Yeah. Like, why press it? Be ambiguous. But then again, Senor Snow is not the sharpest sword in the scabbard.
Yeah.
Nope. But besides that, once again, Alina Tyrell is about to own the room against Tywin Lannister, and Tywin Lannister shows that once again he's got the biggest ego and he lives up to his reputation.
Yeah, she basically, you know, just flat out, she's like, it's rare to meet a man who actually lives up to his explanation.
Yep.
No, I like the fact that like it kind of gives some interesting insight into Tywin's character, because he was more than willing to sacrifice everything that he wanted in order to screw her over.
Yep.
He's like, you know what? Fine, if you're not going to play ball, he's Kingsguard now. Neither of us gets what he wants. I don't care. You know what? I can marry my daughter to some other schlub. You have your Ponzi ass sword swallowing.
No, I like. It's like, well, you do know about his nocturnal attempts. She's like, oh yes, he's a sword swallower through and through.
Oh, he's a puff, and we love him.
Yeah. Oh, he's a silly little one.
I was actually explaining it to my roommate before, because when I watched it, that was the first time my roommate had seen an episode of Game of Thrones, and he's like, but she's. I don't get it. What is her feelings about him being gay? It's like, she doesn't care that he's gay. She cares that being gay is an obstacle to her ambitions.
But he did share that special moment with Sansa explaining how his wedding would be.
Oh yeah,
yes.
I think they're laying it on a bit thick. Cause like, I've always wanted a big wedding with like food and dresses.
Yeah,
and I'd like a wedding dress with like gold and green. And I'm like,
And then
and the bride.
yeah, that's what I was about to say.
I like how Shay's when Sansa and Shay are having a scene. It's like, he told me about the wedding dress he wanted. It's all green and gold. He's really into it. It's like she's like, yeah, sure he is.
Yeah, I like that on a big thick. It's like everyone knows except you. But then again, out of the stock,
he basically doing everything short of prancing around like this, going, "Oh my god! Oh my god! Oh my god! Oh my god!"
Yep.
it just cuts to him. He's in a dungeon rave. It's like, yeah,
with the shirt off. The night of flowers.
So, yeah, first impressions, just to say about that. Yeah, it was a good episode. It continued on. The wall climbing thing, I thought took up way too much of the episode, though. I mean, I'm not saying that was a problem. It's just a thing. It was there.
It wasn't that long a scene. It was about as long as any other scene in there.
It's just that the tension the whole scene created made it look a lot longer than it actually was.
That could very well be the case. But, hey, that's our bit for our impressions, and let's get into the better part.
No. What about the steak film?
Jordan has some. Oh, yeah.
Well, what is the steak explanation?
The steak explanation? Well, you got to give Sir Jamie a hand.
Brienne did.
Appendageless, he still tries. I like that scene in general. I like how it was entirely set up. Jamie is like trying to remain all tough and dignified while trying to cut a steak with one hand. And he's like, "Arr." And Brienne is just sitting there completely uncomfortable in her dress. She's like, "Oh, now we got you something a bit more appropriate." She's like, "Yeah, thanks."
Yeah, that's one thing I'll say. For a model, she's a surprisingly good actor because she genuinely conveyed the feel that she was absolutely uncomfortable in a dress.
Oh yeah.
Hey,
and
not all models are dead inside.
I'm just saying, in olden times, that bitch had to be custom made. They had some good tailors there.
Yeah. But,
I do have one more bit
one more thing.
impressions.
I do love how Melisandre got completely owned in the tent. It's like, how many times has he been resurrected? 6. That's impossible. No, it ain't.
This is something I do. I just say words. Yeah.
It's like,
oh, you're a high priestess. I'm a drunkard. I do a better job.
I'm a drunkard who can defy death.
Then he put on his little top hat and he shuffled off.
And then she goes up to him. It's like, so you've seen the other side? He's like, there is no other side.
Just darkness.
Just darkness.
I love that entire scene. Like, Melisandre is just getting completely. She walks into that tent attempting to take control of the situation and completely fails.
Yep.
I liked how that was put together. And is that going to do it? Do you have anything to add? You had one more thing.
Yes, I did have one more thing. I think that Peter Baelish has finally overstepped his friendship with the eunuch.
I was mentioning to my roommate that Baelish and Varys are color coded for your convenience.
Pedro, I was never under the impression that they were the best of friends in the first place.
But they were. You could.
Poor Rosie, though.
Well, yeah, episode 2 or 3, the eunuch actually says that he's one of my greatest friends, but I have no doubts that he would burn down the kingdom if he could be king of the ashes.
Yeah.
Yeah. I still gotta say, poor Rosie, though, getting skewered with quarrels.
Yeah, that was, I'm starting to like Joffrey again.
Yep.
Pissy, whiny Joffrey, got on my nerve. Pure, unadulterated evil version, I can identify with this.
That's awesome.
It makes more sense to me now. But wasn't that a surprising scene when they just, they didn't explain it, they just cut to it for a second. They're like, yep, that happened.
It's like, damn, she's dead.
Yep.
Yeah, I didn't see that coming, but yeah, I'm sure that's going to throw some kinks and some plans.
Yeah, so I guess we gotta screech on over to the problems then. Pedro, you seem
Yeah,
to have a love-hate relationship with these redheads.
I know, doesn't it?
yeah.
God.
Some of them are awesome, some of them not so much. And like you mentioned,
Varying
Jordan,
degrees of crazy. It's like, nope, that one's a little too crazy for me.
you know, I actually liked her when she gave birth to that shadow demon that lasted for like 2 hours, just long enough to kill. What was his name?
He was another one of the Baratheons.
Yes, I can't remember his name either. Renly.
Oh, yeah.
Renly Baratheon.
Yeah, Renly.
That episode, I actually liked her. Other than that, I mean, like you said, she walks in the room trying to be the best, and she gets owned.
I just have this vision of you hitting pause and like getting up and just like, booyah! Oh!
Yeah, flips the table and starts like dancing on it.
Then quietly sits back down at the computer and hits space.
Like, unflips the table, sets his laptop up again, hits play.
Was my webcam on?
Yes.
Yes.
Sure.
Damn.
Unfortunately for that other thing too, but
Yeah.
yeah.
Anyways,
Mm-hmm.
so then,
Yes, ma'am.
so you looking forward to the wedding?
With the problems,
I'm
man.
I'm looking forward to the wedding.
Yeah, this is definitely just
Well-
by the end of it, it was browbeaten over our heads that, welcome to Game of Weddings. And it was a wedding central. It's like, oh, this person's getting married. We're getting married, this and all that. And Jamie and his sister, they were talking, oh, that was something we didn't cover. Dinklage was like, so did you give the order? And I was like, no, as your dad. I'll imply that with my silence.
Yep.
So, get over that. Also, unlike Pedro, I'm getting a bit bored with torture porn taking up chunks of like progression of story.
It needs to start going somewhere, definitely.
If it isn't in the next episode, it will probably the one after that.
That was kind of my thing. But I hear you're still hating on the Stark boys.
Well, one Stark boy in specific. Bran and Rickon, I don't mind so much because at this point they're just there. Rob, on the other hand, that dude keeps making bad decisions after bad decisions. And even though I hold no love for that hunkle of his, really?
Here's it brings up, it's not really a problem. It was more of like something I was impressed with. They peeled rabbits correctly.
Yes.
Yep.
I actually like that entire scene.
Yeah.
I also like them showing the little side effects of like what powerful magic and what like their psychic ability.
Like, great. What did you see? And he just looks up calmly. He's like, this thing. It was called Nine Cat.
And if we were a professionally produced show, we would end on that right now, but we're not. So let's
Not the slightest. What do we got here? Oh, production issues. We need some big people and some clansmen.
I wonder what they're spending their special effects budgets on,
It
because
shows fuck all
where
them
them
dragons.
giants at?
Oh, all right.
You know what? I'm looking forward. We're what 5 episodes in? 6 episodes in?
We've got 3 episodes
6.
left.
6. So we have 4 episodes left. So I think they're ramping up to something.
Well, there's got to be a big reveal. Like the Red Wedding thing might be coming in because the Crow book is next, but I don't think they're going to focus an entire series.
No. We're only halfway done
The third.
We're
book.
halfway done Clash of Kings.
Ah, that's right. They did this one in 2.
Yep.
Yeah. So, yeah, what are they spending that money on? Because, it's Game of Thrones. I want me dragons.
Well, there were some dragons. There's definitely dragon.
Yeah, Dracarys is there. The other 2 are just kind of falling to the sidelines.
But I think they're saving it up for like another big Battle of Blackwater type thing.
Yeah,
But you got to
even
really...
so.
enjoy that, as you said here in the notes, Pedro, Sansa being Sansa, which she has done a fantastic job. Just be like, why is she on the screen wasting time?
I mean, she is basically she's an object that the plot requires to be moved around.
She's a plot device, right?
Yeah, she's a plot device. She's basically she's a stupid girl who exists to get in trouble and to have bad things happen to her,
and to be generally boring.
Yeah, she's there to be shat upon. She's the Meg Griffin of Game of Thrones.
I was definitely like, hey, look, we're about to see some. Nope. Oh well.
Yeah. Shocking lack of boobs in this episode.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. Lack of boobs, lack of giants, lack of White Walkers, and we get Sansa.
Yeah. Though to be fair, the scene between her and Loras was pretty funny.
Yeah. Okay.
I think she has stuff to do in the book, and stuff revolves around her. But she's a fairly incidental character, and B, I know for a fact stuff happens to her later on. It's just a matter of she has to sort of be shuffled around in order to get to that point.
Yeah, and ever since the start of the show, well, not exactly the start, that episode when Ned Stark kills her direwolf, that's when she became what she is now.
Yep. A weak-willed puppet.
Waiting to get made with the killing.
But now she has a brand spanking new husband and a mistress to deal with.
Yeah, that's going to be interesting to see. I just want that pan shot out from that window in the castle. She's like, no.
Yeah.
And then Dinklage.
Tyrion's like, you think I like the city more than you? I didn't want this.
Do you think
I want to go about my way, courting hookers and shit like that.
Right, hookers and
I don't want to have to get married.
Shows up with a hooker and a bag of cocaine. He's like, yeah, happens.
He's like, honey, I'm home.
It's going to be fun. Just to recap on this before we wrap it up: Game of Thrones and Doctor Who. With Doctor Who, Jordan, you kind of halfway convinced me to give this episode a pass, but I still wish they would move something on because
admittedly, there's been a lot of filler this season, but in comparison with the other filler, this was much better.
Okay, granted. I'll agree to
and
that. With the Power of Love episodes,
this having battered wife syndrome about the latest Doctor Who episodes. I guess it's they've been just generally so poor. When a mediocre one pops up, I'm like, oh, thank Christ!
Hail Santa!
Hail Santa!
Yeah, it was a thing. Game of Thrones, I think we all agree. There were problems, but just
minor ones.
Yeah, very solid. Yeah. It's been rocking on, progressing, because they actually know what the hell they're doing and not making it up week to week. Yep. Any thoughts on what's coming up next week? Or
so you know what, Neil Gaiman is writing next week's episode. I like his writing generally, so I'm hoping it's another Doctor's Wife sort of thing.
Yeah, maybe River show up and she's like, nope. Shows up with the divorce papers.
No,
from the Shadow Proclamation. They also do divorces.
We need more Rhino people. That's what we need. More Rhino people.
They're just going with the kids to the Interstellar theme park, and even with the Cybermen, I don't.
Yeah, out of the Booga Boogas, the Cybermen, I was like, really?
Even the Weeping Angels are more compelling.
Yeah.
Well, the Weeping Angels sort of play off your natural fear. It's a jump scare done well.
Yep.
Oh, I was going natural fear of angels, but yeah, I guess that works too.
Yeah, you know what? Angels are pretty scary. What with they're zero amount of genitals and
inability to imbibe tequila. It's just.
Although I will admit that Alan Rickman's Metatron was pretty freaking awesome.
Yeah, we need a
Yeah.
sequel to that movie.
But I mean, Alan Rickman's awesome, so that sort of rubs off.
Yeah.
So what do we think about Game of Thrones? Just to wrap it up, general.
If I had to rate it out of 10, I'd give this one an 8.
Yeah, I'd say 7 or 8. Definitely with that. No glaring issues with it. I'm kind of with Pedro here with, the lack of the visual effects, because even though it was gorgeously done.
Yeah,
I
there
I
were
really
no
liked how all the
giants,
scenes
and
are
there were no
shot.
White
They're-
Walkers.
No giants. Yeah.
I mean, you know what? I can appreciate the cinematography for what it is. I don't necessarily need the special effects. All the scenes are shot incredibly well.
It's all well done, but, even like climbing with the wall, it's like, why don't you just get a giant to throw you up there?
Wee! Starring
Overshot.
Venn Stone in season 4.
Splat.
Game of Do it and audition.
I didn't say successfully, there's all like little
Overshot. Splat.
it was good. I thought it ended, turbo gay, not like good gay, but like bad gay. And with a whole, he's like, oh, here, let's look at the frozen barrenscape, and turn around. He's like, see, look, green shit.
Green shit.
Let's kiss.
Oh
Yeah.
God! And the way that was framed.
Don't you like to make out on high objects? Whoops!
Oh man, I've had a citation for that before. Yeah, it's been great if like the other guys just like pushed her over. It's like, we no, all right. So that's going to wrap us up. Close us out, man. Where can they find us? Tell us the things.
You can e-stalk us. I'm Jordan. You can find me at The Burning Fool or plus Jordan Svung. That guy's Venn. You can find him cleverly hidden on Twitter at Venn Stone or on Google Plus at plus Venn Stone. And this little potato man here is Pedro Mateus. And you can find him at Unaccounted For or plus Pedro Mateus on the Google Pluses. And that'll about wrap it up for this week.
Yeah,
Tune in next week for Roller Coasters and Cyborgs.
Assimilate.
Yep.
Resistance is futile.